Hey y'all, it's me, Kaylee. I know it's a new location, but we are back here today, and this video is kind of gonna be, it's a how to, not necessarily how to journal, but it's just like different ideas on how to journal. I know a lot of people are kind of like, oh, I want to journal, blah, 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 but I don't know where to start. I don't know what to write about. And believe me, that's why I didn't get into journaling until last year. So I completely understand. But for me personally, I like to journal a lot because sorry, I'm like sitting on my couch, or I'm sitting on the floor, and I have a, like a fur, blanket over my ottoman, a fur rug over my ottoman. So that's what was in the picture, or like in the frame. But, yeah, so I have really bad depression, and not really bad, but like severe depression and anxiety, and it's social anxiety. It's not just like, there's different types of anxiety. Mine's social anxiety, which is weird because if you met me, like especially now, you wouldn't think I had social anxiety because I'm very like extroverted and stuff. But I did realize that social anxiety isn't just like being afraid of people or anything. It's like more so thinking too much about what other people think about you. And it's not like oh, I wonder, like, maybe I need to dress up the nicest, so people, no, it's not, or like people will like me. Oh, no, it's not like that. It's literally like, I said something and I literally thought about it as I was going to bed, and I was like, wow, does that person hate me now? And it's not like, it's so irrational, and that's what anxiety is it is irrational. So that's like, that was weird. I don't know why I talked about that. Anyways, but yeah, so that was my anxiety and stuff. But something that has really helped is journaling, and journaling's like my favorite thing to do. And I don't necessarily, like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh yeah, I journal every freaking night, because I don't. There are nights, like the last time I journaled was, let me see, the 29th, which wasn't too long ago. But then we have the 15th of March, and then we have the 12th of February, and then I kind of journaled for a couple days. So we have the 10th of February, and then it goes to the 28th of December. So I'm not gonna sit here and be like, yeah, I'm the best journaler ever. Like, I'm so on top of it. No, I'm not. But it is something good to do, especially since we are quarantining right now. Like, most states are under shelter in place, and so is Georgia now. So I don't have to work for like 10 days. 10 days at least. I'm not sure if our governor is going to extend it or not, but since I'm staying at home right now, and I can't really go anywhere, I'm gonna get bored. So I need to do something for my mental health, because before the shelter in place, I was going over to my friend's house, but it was literally just one person. It was because I get really bad anxiety, like being around myself for too long. Like, it literally drives me insane. And like, I love living by myself. It's probably the best decision I've ever made, and I probably won't live with anyone else again. But sometimes I just need to be with people, or else like I'll literally like get all spacey and just not physically be okay or mentally okay. So I've been going to the Verity's house, which is the same person this whole time. It's not like I'm going out and partying or anything. It's literally like, I need to go over there or else I will go insane. So if you guys want to be like, oh, you're spreading to the coronavirus, not necessarily, because I am. So like, it's for my mental health, and I feel like as long as I'm not I'm not hanging out with a bunch of different people. I haven't hung out with anyone since I've been to Savannah except for Verity. So PSA. Anyways, so yeah. So I have two different journals. I'll show you guys both of them. This one's my first one, and I'm very picky about my journals. I don't like hardback journals, and I like the little spirally ones like these, but I don't like them too flimsy. I like them just flimsy enough. I know that's so, it's very, and I like the dates, like that, it to have the dates, and I like, actually, I'm not really weird about the spacing, so I prefer college, but I think this one I have over here, one of them, I'm pretty sure one of them's wide. I don't really know. One of them might be wide, but, or yeah, the wide space or whatever, but either way, I'm not, or wide ruled and then college ruled, but I don't really care that much. But yeah, so this says, quiet the mind and the soul will speak, which I really like that quote. And I also just like to light a candle as well when I'm journaling. And sometimes I'll journal outside, and then I've also journaled in my bed, but recently I've just been like sitting here, especially since I've decorated my like ottoman and stuff. I like how the vibes and stuff, it's just good. And I like how this is kind of naturey too. And then I have a Pisces candle that I lit, which is what I showed in the beginning. I don't necessarily know if it smells like Pisces or what the purpose of it was, but they all smell different. I like the smell of the Pisces one, so that's my sun sign. But so I like that. And then I also, the candle next to it, the big blue one, is my favorite candle ever. It's sea salt and sandalwood. It just smells like a man. It's just so nice. Yeah, so that smells like literally a man. It's the best smelling candle ever. But I can't find it anywhere else. It was a TJ Maxx candle, and I don't know, maybe I should look. I don't know who it says NS, so I don't really know who that is. I don't know, I might have to find this and get another one, because I'm like halfway down in it. Like it's getting kind of close, and I just don't know, like I haven't been burning it because I'm too scared to lose it. So I'll probably do some online shopping and figure out that. Anyways, getting into the journal now, now that I've rambled this. So the first page of my journal is, I'm not gonna read you guys like any journal entries, just because I think that is super personal. This is just more of ideas and how I journal. You obviously don't have to do it, but I think it's interesting to look and get ideas and inspiration. Anyways, so this is my first entry, I guess, but it's more so my cover page for my journal, and kind of like just the vibes I want to set for the entire journal. But it says, just remember, even your worst days only have 24 hours. And it's just like a little quote. It's just so simple, but it's just like, you're right. Like, if I'm having a bad day, it only has 24 hours. It's not the end of the world. Unless we're on daylight savings time, then it might go shorter or longer. But anyways, that's a minor. But yeah, so I found this quote off of Pinterest and just copied it. And that is just such an easy thing to do. If you know you want to journal and you know you want to let some creative energy out, you don't really know how to because you're like, I don't really know what to write about. Just find a quote on Pinterest and copy it. I'll show you guys several examples of me doing that. Anyways, so this is my first entry. It was just kind of like me rambling, and I'm not always like the best when it comes to writing because I just start literally, like when I write in my journal, it's just a whole brain dump. Like I don't think half of it makes sense, but it doesn't really matter because it's your journal. Like I've only read back a couple of these a few times, so it's not a lot, but it's just stuff like that. And I always like to date them. That's like the number one rule with journaling, is you have to date them, or else like you're just missing out, man. Yeah, so that's continued. And then, sorry, that was very southern. Yeah, so again, I told you guys about how I saw the quote on Pinterest. That's exactly what I did here. It's fun to copy stuff on Pinterest. I don't know what to tell you there. Then I did that. I think I wrote like a little entry, and then I was like, that's kind of short, so then I just copied a quote. And then I literally Googled journal prompts or something like that, and it says what scares me, so then I just wrote about what scares me. And then just more things that were on my mind. Oh, this one was something I want to talk about. So this is the 10 ways to love. I just found this on Pinterest, I think, and I really hate how I did that, so don't judge me. But I just wrote down the 10 ways to love. And so I'll just go through them real quick. Give without expecting in return, Proverbs 21:26. Trust without wavering, 1 Corinthians 13:7. Forgive without punishing, Colossians 3:13 through 14. Listen without interrupting, Proverbs 18. Enjoy without complaint, Philippians 2:14. Answer without arguing, Proverbs 17:1. Keep promises, Matthew 5:37. Speak without accusing, James 1:19. Be patient in all things, 1 Corinthians 13:4. Learn to let it go, Ephesians 4:31 through 32. So those are all like different ways to love, and that's not there is in the Bible, God talks about 3 different ways to love. It's either 3 or 4, but there's 3 main ones. The first one is eros, which is like it's erotic love, so sexual love. And then number 2 is philia, which is like friendly love, so that's love you give to your friends or your family or your pets. And then the third one is agape love, which is godly love, so it's how you love God, or if you aren't Christian or like religious, like your higher power, your higher energy, whatever you believe in. So that's what this was about. And then on the next page, so it says like what the Bible verses are. So number 10, learn to let it go, Ephesians 4:31 through 32. I went and wrote all the Bible verses out, which was very hard, but I did it. So Ephesians 4:31 through 32 says, get rid of all bitterness, rage, and anger, brawling and slander, along with every form of malice. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you. Yeah. Anyways, so then I wrote my goals out on another ones, and I did like daily goals, weekly goals, bi-weekly goals by 2020 and by 2021. This was written back in October, and I can say I am not very good at these. Those ones I need to reevaluate. And then I like wrote something, and then there was another journal prompt, and then I wrote about that. Oh, this is the great page. I practiced my signature. And then I did like a prayer journal on this side. So I literally just wrote out everything I prayed for that day. And that was kind of like my prayer for the night. And I really enjoyed that one. So I might do that again. But I like how I wrote this. And I like how I just literally dumped it out. And my prayers don't make any sense. But it's kind of nice to like go back and see, okay, this is what I prayed for that night, you know? And then I did some manifesting on this page. And then I think I did this right after, and I tried to draw tulips, but they don't look good, so don't look at them. And then this is just like me rambling. Oh, and then I wrote more. I was practicing my handwriting. And this is just literally what I did for a journal entry that night. I literally just did my handwriting. And then I just was practicing, you know what I'm saying? And then this is one of my last ones. But yeah, just journal. And then manifesting again. And that's the end of this one. So yeah, I'm going to write in this tonight after I finish filming this video. That's actually why I filmed this video anyways. I was like, ooh, let me talk about that. I think it's interesting. So my second one that I have is it's kind of like my devotional, I guess. It's like my Bible study. It's like my Bible journal. But I've obviously in that other one, I've written like prayers and stuff in that. So this one's just kind of more like focusing on religion, whereas the other one focuses just on anything. So this one says, there's always something to be grateful for. And again, this is like the flimsy, but not too flimsy spiral. the whole shebang. I also like, I also like the gold pages. I really like those, but this one didn't have it, but I liked the quote, so I was like, fine, sacrificing here. So on this again, I like to just start off with like a cover page, just kind of setting the mood for the Bible study journal thing. And this says, nothing can change God's love for you. I just think that's super important. And then these are some of my favorite verses. I haven't done too many of these just yet, but yeah. And then this one, my first one was battling loneliness, and I literally just Googled this and just wrote down what Google said, and I thought that was super important, and just like talked about it. And then God will never leave us. And then this one, I went into the book of John and started doing a Bible study of it, just because John is such Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. It's the same story, but told through a different person, I think is what it is. I think I said that right. So this is just kind of what I just wanted to start off there, because the New Testament is a lot easier to understand than the Old. Not necessarily easier, but I like the New Testament a lot more. They talk about like love and forgiveness and all that a lot more. So I don't know, it just makes me happier. So yeah, so I wrote about all this. Still in the book of John. This actually, I did a week without any social media, because I thought that God was like kind of calling me to do a fast, and it was to not do any social media. So anytime I wanted to go on social media, I literally just wrote my Bible study, and I would go out to like Chick-fil-A or Chicken Salad Chick and just do work on this Bible study. And it's super important. And also, if you don't think, you can literally like, you can do this a couple different ways. You can either read the chapter yourself and then write it down, or you can Google Bible studies. So like I did like the Book of John Bible study, and then I read a couple different ones, see if I liked them or not, because obviously like everyone has a different interpretation, but you need to make sure that it makes sense for you. So I liked this interpretation, so I wrote it that way. And obviously it doesn't like indent or like, I just kind of mark which ones I think are super important to say. But yeah, and then I also finished it off with like a quote from that book as well whenever I finished a book. So this is literally what I did for a whole week, was just write this stuff. I think I only got to like 4 or 5. I haven't done this in a while. Oh, and then this one is Love Never Fails. And this, I literally just wrote out 1 Corinthians chapter 13, and just wrote it all there. And then, or 4 through 8, I guess. I thought I wrote the whole chapter, but I didn't. And this talks about like agape love down there. And then, oh, here we go. Here's Paul's description of God's agape love for us, or agape for us. This is Paul's description of God's agape for us. He comes to the conclusion that love never fails. It's the simple truth that humans often fail each other, but God's love never disappoints. It's a love that can always be depended on. I don't know. It just never fails. And then, yeah, this is when I was feeling like really sad about my grandma, so I did a Bible study on that. Obviously this is a long Bible study, but I mean, that's what they are. Okay, so that was it. But there's like good lessons in it. Even if you're not religious, there's good lessons and messages in the Bible. And I think that's why a lot of people find comfort in them, is because there are such good messages. It's obviously something that you are supposed to find comfort in. So yeah, that was my journals. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, you can leave them down below and I will answer them. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it informative and stuff. So yeah, go ahead and like this video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!